And hello and welcome to Sound Mind, Sound Body. This is a monthly Zoom workshop that I've been having since last year. And this edition is the first time I have a special guest. And I'm very excited to receive Laura Williams, the Secret Inspirer. And we are connected because we both are health and well-being professionals in the music industry. And God knows there's a lot to talk about.
Yeah, we're going to be here for the next 75 hours. No, I'm joking.
Right. No, we could definitely organize a whole retreat about what we want to share. And I want to introduce a bit Laura. So Laura is a holistic well-being consultant and coach, and she's a healing nutritionist, a herbalist, and an elixir creator. She supports busy private clients and brands such as EE, BT, Virgin Media, The Ministry, Potato, WPP. I don't know those, huh? Missoma.
That agency.
Okay, Bye Bye Plastic, those I know, and Abracadabra TV and Balearic Radio to get super powered by nature. Laura believes that we are what we consume, and I totally join you on that food is medicine and that herbs heal. And reconnecting to the seasons, cycles, and energies of nature are the secrets to well-being. Laura shares her wisdom rooted in the ancient holistic health systems of traditional Chinese medicine and Ayurveda to support her clients to live inspired, the secret inspirer, in dance with their soul. And she is a certified neuro-linguistic programming practitioner and coach at NLP School London, and a qualified holistic health practitioner at Academy of Healing Nutrition, New York. And she is also a member of AFEM.org, which is the Association for Electronic Music for people in the industry. And now the floor is yours, Laura.
Thank you, Izzy. That's the most amazing intro I've ever had in my life. I'm 41 as well, so, you know, there's been a few intros. And welcome, Diego and Kristen. We all had a really nice little chat behind the scenes just earlier, so welcome you guys as well. Whereabouts are you at the moment in the world?
I'm in Hollywood.
Oh, lovely. Have you got some sunshine?
Yeah, I'll show you. This is, sorry. It's a very pretty day here in Hollywood Hills.
Oh, beautiful. And
Amazing.
Diego?
Hi everyone, sorry for the late entrance. I'm in Barcelona right now, so
Yeah.
also with the beautiful weather, but getting darker here, so still enjoyable.
Yeah, so we were just kind of having a little chat and just saying that we are nature, and what, you know, the nature around us really does impact how we feel and how our energy is. And we're all going into spring equinox in the northern hemisphere. I think we're all on the northern hemisphere next week. But myself, and I think it was Julia, we've had like 4-degree weather today, 6-degree weather. I don't know about you, but my energy has been pretty low in the last couple of days. And it's always useful when we're kind of thinking about energy as well, to think about what's happening in the sky and the planets. You know, we are nature, and we're part of a massive cosmos. We're part of a big universe, and we just had Pisces new moon on Sunday. So that's a real time of like introspection. Like the moon kind of disappears from the sky. You know, we all have these cycles. We all have those moments when we're like, yeah, I just want to disappear from the sky for a minute. Just give me a moment, whether we're female and we've got cycles, or whether we're male and we've got our own cycles. You know, it's like we're all cyclical beings. So yeah, we had Pisces new moon. we're right at the end of the astrological new year. We're kind of in a space of like a liminal space almost, where we get suspended, and it's a really beautiful point in time with the beginning of the astrological new year starting in a few days' time, and spring equinox, just to kind of really tune in, to check in. Spring equinox is one of 2 times in the year that nature actually like meets, and it brings us back to 50-50 day and night. So that happens at the spring equinox, and then also in the autumn. So it's like, oh my God, okay, how do we feel? How do I feel? Like the whole world for some reason is set up to like go crazy on the 1st of January with the Gregorian calendar. And if you deal with nature like I do, you kind of like, I don't know, that doesn't feel right for me. I'm not ready. And we actually have like the deepest, darkest part of winter. And in traditional Chinese medicine, that's like the season of the kidney. It's the water element. It's very much about the emotions of like fear and willpower if we are imbalanced. So we kind of go through this like 3 months of feeling like we got to push. And yeah, maybe you've got like some really good sunshine and stuff like that, so you've got that extra dose of vitamin D that you might not have where I am. But yeah, we kind of get to this point, the spring equinox, and we're kind of already depleted. I don't know if anyone feels like that, but it's like, if we have gone with nature and we've rested for the last 3 months, and we've really, really slowly started to open up, started to, you know, vision what we want to create this year, and we've been planting seeds and stuff, then maybe we will feel like we're ready to kind of go boom. And not like boom, but like just kind of starts like waking up, like the animals, like the buds on the trees, all that kind of stuff. But because of our world and our potentially our, you know, the music industry, I think some of you are certainly in the music industry, it doesn't really work like that. So it's kind of up to us to check in with ourselves, ask how we are feeling, and to give ourselves what we need in order to energize ourselves, to know when to say no, and to know when to rest, and to know when to go, okay, I'm ready, let's go. So I thought we could start off with a little bit of just to check in. I don't know, I mean, I do this a lot, but like some people don't really ever ask themselves, like, how am I feeling? Like, really, how am I feeling? You know, we might have that underlying kind of feeling of tiredness or whatever, but, you know, I just ask you in this moment just to actually feel like in your body, how are you feeling? And if you have got a cup of tea with you, I'm all about the tea and the herbs, the life-giving herbs. I'm going to give you some secret herbal allies in a little bit that are going to supercharge you. But yeah, if you have got a cup of tea, just getting really present with that tea and just holding it in your hand, and maybe feeling the weight of it and just feeling the heat of it, and getting so present, smelling it, and just giving yourself that moment to enjoy it and to arrive, and maybe taking a small sip. Because when we are present, that is where we can activate our energy. When we are not present, when we are living in the future and living in the past, our energy is so dispersed. So I talk about tea a lot and the herbal benefits and the healing benefits of tea. But really, if we just sip on a tea for a few moments, you know, when we are feeling a bit scattered and a bit fragmented, it does a lot. So how are you feeling? How is the energy? How's the energy in the room? Feel free to speak as well. I'm not really much of a reader while I'm chatting, so just shout out.
I would say it's cozy.
Say that again, sorry?
It's cozy.
Cozy. Oh, lovely. I like that. How's your energy? Cozy is nice.
Yeah, I mean, mine is quite relaxed now. Had a very intense day, so now finally feeling like like present, like not rushing anymore, more like here. Yeah.
So kind of like relief.
Yeah.
How's anyone else's energy?
I think it's the first time in the day that I consciously slowed down for a bit.
Yeah.
Had like a really rushed day, so slowly getting to that rhythm and feeling more the
I'm gonna
body.
make myself a tea now because I really want to feel
Go
the
in,
same.
babe.
I thought water was enough, but I'm gonna do a tea now to feel
Love.
like the same.
So you're just kind of you're feeling into the moment, Diego, and just like, okay.
Yeah. A different kind of silence now.
It is amazing how much we aren't actually present. We feel tired quite often, and it's because we're not actually where we are. So just very, very, very simple things can just kind of bring us back. And then what are the kind of things that you guys do to increase your energy? Do you find certain things do help with your energy?
I like to stretch. I feel like I'm 53 and it becomes just every day, just like movement, some sort of movement, just to yeah. And it's daytime here, so getting started, so it's slightly like the idea of the day can go anywhere, which is nice.
Yeah, I love that. Mornings are magic. Movement. Lovely. Yeah, I think one of probably the most powerful ways, that one of my top tips to cultivate energy is creating a morning practice, like a rising ritual. I have noticed I've been traveling a lot recently, and if I don't get my morning ritual down, I am all over the place. And you get like a moment in time because we're so pulled around with everyone else's energy. And if you think about it, as soon as you go on your phone or as soon as you look at your emails, you're no longer in your energy. You are in the energy of the other person. So on your social media, you suddenly you're being demanded, your energy is being pulled, and you're potentially even feeling like the energy of the other person. So before I get into anything else, and I'm not doing this every day. Like I said, I feel it when I don't. But I really am trying to create a space now. If you've got the luxury of an hour or something like that in the morning, that's amazing. I know not everyone has that. But even if it's 10 minutes on waking up, you can kind of cultivate your own morning ritual with no phones, just to be peaceful, just to kind of check in with yourself, just to close your eyes, just to go within and just start the day from there. And almost like, I don't know if any of you meditate. I think for me, the notion of meditating nowadays is more about disconnecting from all of the stuff, the noise and the stuff that we're consuming and the external stuff, and just going within and just closing our eyes for a moment and checking within, like how we are actually feeling, and setting an intention for the day. Like, how do I want to feel? Because we are the creators, like you were saying, Kristen, like you're getting up, you can stretch, and like you've got that morning vibe, and it's like, okay, what do I want to do with this day? And it makes such a difference. We are powerful creators. And if we get pulled into someone else's energy, or pulled into someone else's intention, then we lose that. And like by the end of the afternoon, we're feeling like really kind of groggy, or not. I'm Vata in Ayurveda, so I'm very in my head and very kind of creative, fast paced, and I need a lot of grounding. I need to kind of come back to my center and just be like, hang on a minute, let's just connect with how I feel and my energies and stuff like that. But yeah, if you can have in the morning as well, just like a lemon and ginger tea, or something, like everyone loves the lemon and ginger tea, but it's cleansing, it's detoxifying. And it basically, rather than having a water, like a cold water, and I know, I mean, obviously if you are in the sun and in the heat, then it's kind of different and you need to feel into that. But it gets what's called the agni, like fired up. So our digestive fires, it gets it fired up. So rather than kind of downing a pint of water really quickly and kind of, I need to rehydrate, sipping slowly and mindfully on like a warm tea, it is like, it can cultivate so much more energy throughout the day. It's crazy. All these things are so simple. So yeah. So right now we are, like I was saying, we're kind of in traditional Chinese medicine, we're moving out of the season of the kidney. Izzy, you will correct me if I'm wrong, but I know, yeah, this is all good. I'm just as much a lover as you are. And we're going into the season of the liver. Okay, so this is symbolized by the color green. It's the wood element, and it's connected to the emotions of like anger. Like if it's out of balance, it's like you will feel the anger coming up, right? And you know that sometimes that is a cue. If you're like, I mean, always angry, then maybe it's something else. But if you're suddenly randomly angry, then you're like, okay, I'm feeling a little bit shorter than normal. I think what needs to be happening now is a cooling or a detoxifying of the liver. And on the other side, when we're in balance, we actually feel really abundant at this time of year. It's that like spring, you know, energy, everything's coming in. We can start to see all the new shoots of inspiration and hope and like, you know, everything kind of like popping up. So we know that if we're in that space of abundance and that energy of abundance, that our liver's probably quite happy. But yeah, what we can do at this time of year, because we've got to clear all the toxins from the winter. So we've been cozy, we've been hibernating, we've been hermiting. I'm a Virgo, so I love a bit of a hermit. And it's now that time where it's like, okay, I need to start moving a little bit more now. I need to detoxify. And yeah, we can do that by eating green colored foods and herbs. So like leafy greens, things like kale, things like bok choy, cabbage. I have like a really liver loving little little kind of vegetable thing where I fry up with some coconut oil, which is also good for the liver. And obviously the point I'm saying, the reason I'm saying all of this is that if our liver is happy and we're detox, then our energy is going to go right up. So yeah, I cook kale or something like that in coconut oil with some garlic, and then I sprinkle a little bit of like milk thistle or something on it, and I put that as a side on everything. And it is just the biggest detoxifier. Probably not the best if you're going on a night out with the garlic, but if you just cut the middle bit out of the garlic, it doesn't make you smell. So leafy greens, green vegetables, green fruits, you know, an apple a day at this time of year is really good, if that's kind of your thing. But yeah, just reaching out for the green stuff, reaching out for those herbs that I mean, I'm drinking a rosemary tea. I mentioned to you guys before, Izzy sent out a note about drinking like a fennel or a mint or what was the other one? Can't remember nettle tea. These are all like green, beautiful herbs. Nettle, right, at this time of year it's provided by nature. Like if you go out wherever you are in the world and see what nature is giving you right now, like here we're starting to have that really luscious kind of green abundance of like gorgeous spring taking over from the winter. And you'll see things like nettle, you'll see things like cleavers, you'll start to see, you know, maybe more into like May, something called yarrow. I think these you can all get in Spain. I'm sure you can get nettle in LA, can't you? Yeah. So these are gifts from nature. This is exactly what we need to help detoxify our systems, like going from the winter into the spring. So, I mean, if you're able to forage some nettles, I would highly recommend it. Go somewhere away from cars and like the roads and stuff like that. and obviously take some gloves or some scissors with you. Try and avoid like dog height and but knee height, where you're gonna have some really gorgeous like young fresh nettles, and they actually come again at the autumn equinox. So 2 points in time we have amazing nettles, and you just cut the tops off them, take them home, you can rinse them, dry them out. And you can either make, or you don't have to dry them out, you can throw them in to like stir fries and all sorts of stuff. Just they're so detoxifying, they're so high in nutrients, and they're exactly what we need right now. They will give you so much energy. And if you do dry them out, then you can make your own nettle tea. And if that all sounds a little bit much, then you can just go online and buy nettle tea. But yeah, some key things that are going to kind of boost your energy at the moment as we kind of transition into spring. And then I would also kind of start, I don't know what it is, but I feel like I drink more caffeine in the winter. I feel like I get to a point where I'm like, I don't know, just craving more stuff that's not necessarily good for me. More coffees. I really try not to have more than 1 coffee a day, because coffee in traditional Chinese medicine is what's called thief. And it's the caffeine is a diuretic, and it basically gets right into your kidneys, which is the thing that's going to help with like, you know, your blood flow and like getting toxins out of your body. And it basically like really dehydrates the kidneys. So that kind of buzz that you get from caffeine, that hit, that energy that you think is kind of like fake energy, because it takes more than it gives. So it might be a good idea to kind of like, while you're having a bit of a spring reset, just to kind of think, oh, hang on, how much caffeine am I taking on? Like, how am I feeling with this coffee? Because I know for me, after like 1 coffee, if I have 2, I feel mental for the rest of the afternoon. It's obviously not doing that much good for my system, but 1 coffee in the morning, I'm like, I'm going to make this sacred. I'm going to make this part of my morning ritual. I'm going to really enjoy it. And you know, that's good for me. But if you are wanting like a clean kind of caffeine that is natural, there's something called Guayusa tea. I believe it's originally it's from Mexico. But it's a really beautiful, it hasn't got, you can have it as a tea, and it hasn't got that kind of crazy spike and then the crash. It just gives you like a really beautiful boost, and then it's kind of clean. So yeah, that's just something to bear in mind. But yeah, is there anything particularly that people are struggling with in terms of energy right now, or anything that you notice kind of at this time of year, this season, that kind of shift from winter into spring? Anything that anyone wants to ask or say?
Actually, I'm just wanted to add to ask you about the wild garlic, because you were talking about the garlic, and it's the season of the wild garlic, which is in French ail des ours, like the bear's garlic, and and this is because I really studied this. I love wild garlic, and it's very good. What do you think about this? Because it got lots of properties. Just there is really one to it's anti people who has coagulate blood, who take some anticoagulation. Sorry for my French, for my English. But I think it's a good thing. It's what do you think?
Yeah, 100%. I love wild
Yeah.
garlic. We are massively in wild garlic season.
Mm.
It is so good for detoxifying your body.
Mm.
It's so good for energy, anti-inflammatory. I don't know if it's anti-inflammatory, but it's anti kind of bacterial.
Mm.
And
Indeed.
yeah, it is literally the perfect thing that nature gives you right now to throw into everything. So again, like you can pick it from, you know, wherever you may be. There's loads in like hedgerows and all sorts of different walks and stuff that I've been on recently in the UK for sure. You can totally smell that it's wild garlic. If anyone's like, I don't know about foraging, that's not my thing. If it's in your land,
in Barcelona it's not, but it's I know about the real wild humid forests, like those places. I don't know if people from Barcelona if you have been to around, if you found some, tell me where, because I want to go. And it's just it's very important not to confuse with another flower in France called muguet. I know because they got the same leaf. I mean, on the wiki phyto, you got all the informations, and there is one or two just very against the indication, but mostly if you don't have blood problems, it's a good thing.
Yeah.
On pesto, I can find pesto. I actually buy anything which is with white garlic.
Yeah, exactly. And you can just like rinse it off,
I advise
get some pesto, throw it in a pasta dish, throw it in a salad. And yeah, it's kind of like, it is green. It's like a green leaf. It doesn't look like garlic. But if you go into a forest and there's wild garlic, you're gonna like, it's in season for probably about 2 months now.
it's
But
short. It's
you
a
get
very
it
short
now,
one.
then
Yeah.
it's like so strong, and it's just, yeah, absolutely perfect. Oh, I'm glad that you mentioned that. I had forgotten about wild garlic.
Cool. It's one of my favorites. Amongst the other, like for me, ravinsara is one of the best plants in the world as well. But it's something this is like you take from essential oil, so it's not like. But also bourrache, which is another one that I really love because then you can grow. It grows very. I don't know the name in English actually. Bourrache, maybe is it Isabel? You know bourrache in English?
Actually, I don't know that plant.
You don't know, and you can eat the flowers. The flowers are blue, and the flowers got a very very nice taste. And you take the leaf and you cut it like basil, like basilic or everything like this. It's a
Yeah,
very nice for the skin or even.
oh, amazing.
Do you know?
And
Do
you
you know
can put
bourrache? You
those
know?
flowers on a salad or something. Now I'm gonna,
Voila. You need to. I'm gonna check. I will
yeah,
find the English one.
yeah, that would be
I'll
amazing.
put it on the chat.
Yeah. And it's really amazing because when you start like looking into your like cupboards and stuff, you're like, oh, hang on a minute, I've got fennel seeds from my cooking. I mean, they are so good, they're beautiful as a tea, just like half a teaspoon of fennel seeds. They're already in your cupboard. You can kind of strain it if you want or leave them in there, and they're really, really settling for your digestive system, really, which is great at the moment. You've got things like mint that's growing all the time. It's just rosemary was one of my biggest things where I was like, hang on a minute, there's a rosemary bush outside. It's sorry, I get really excited about this. Everything we need is in nature. But rosemary, I'm drinking rosemary tea right now. It's good for anxiety, good for mood, good for energy. Yeah, and memory. That's funny. But yeah, really. Yes. That's the one. Diego, did you have a question?
Well, I was thinking also about what you asked about what I'm feeling around energy, about how people are feeling, how I am feeling as well. And this time, I normally think that it's in many ways times of change for a lot of people and of new challenges or finishing challenges as well. It can be corporate, for example, like the quarter is ending, so you have to achieve your goals, etc. And also the weather is changing, as you said. So naturally we start thinking like, I don't know, summer is coming, what am I gonna do? And then I don't know, maybe you don't like your body, you have to start exercising or changing the winter diet and all of that. So in the same time as having like normally I see positive projections, I also see that there's a lot of restraint behind it, and many people struggle with it as well, including me. And it's like some kind of contradictory that I love that the weather is getting better, for example, but I hate that in the morning it's cold and then in the afternoon it's warm. So kind of you have to give something to receive it as well in this transition. And I feel a lot of choque ideas. I don't know how to say it, but yeah, that's something that I've been feeling around and including myself as well. So.
Yeah, almost like a resistance.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, we don't like change. do we? We tend to like always go, no, thank you. And then after a little while, we're like, hang on, yeah, no, this is good. This is good for me.
Yes.
I think that's why, like we kind of touched upon in at the top of this call, I think it's so important to firstly like to notice the nature around you and what's going on, but and then and then to check in with you and your feeling, and like are you ready to start rushing around like a spring lamb? Are you and also just giving yourself the grace that you are a human being. There is a lot going on, there's a lot energetically going on, for sure. I mean, we've got on the 25th, we've got a Libra full moon eclipse. So we're starting eclipse season as well. So, and that's like a 2-week period. But I mean, we start feeling those energies from about 3 weeks beforehand. So yeah, like universally, cosmically, there's a huge amount of energy. There's a huge amount of energy in the collective that we're feeling. And then there's all of these kind of outward structures and cultures and systems and whatever telling us that we need to be X energy at this time and show up in this way and whatever, and you're feeling like, nah, I'm not, nah. So and that's fine, and that's about having autonomy with our own bodies and being a sovereign being and going, I actually don't feel like that right now, so what do I need in this moment? And maybe sometimes, I mean, if anyone's predominantly kapha in Ayurveda, that is the kind of energy that is a bit slower, a bit more sluggish. And if you've got that kind of kapha energy, you might need a bit of like, come on, let's go. Like, it's time to go. Like the Vattas are out of here. They're like on the next thing. They are racing, they're creating, and they're burning themselves out. But the kapha kind of slower energy, you might need a bit more chili in your food and like pungent spices to kind of get everything going and moving. So yeah, I mean, that's our kind of constitution. That's like everything that affects us as well. So we kind of have to I've just noticed David Bowie in the back of Diego's house. Love that. Not the actual Bowie.
I have David Bowie right behind me too. That's weird.
No.
I don't know if you can see his top of the head there.
Let's
That's
just
crazy.
have a moment for Bowie.
Wow.
Love that. So yeah, I mean, it's about tuning in, getting real with yourself. And that's why it's so important to have either a meditation practice or a presence practice, or at least a moment in the day where you go, okay, how am I feeling? How am I feeling without all this noise? And that's also when your intuition, or your intuition, I like to call it, kind of is felt. And you're like, okay, like I'm getting these intuitive hits all the time. Now that I've actually stopped what everyone else is doing and the chaos around me, I can actually tune into that. And yes, the world looks like we're in spring and it's doing this and it's doing that and whatever. But actually, I'm still feeling quite in winter, or, I don't know, like it's just kind of, it's about how you feel and your intuition and tuning in to what you feel you need. And a lot of the time in the coaching that I do, it's one of the things that I find the hardest is when people don't know. Like if I say, well, what's the vision? Like, what's the plan? What's the dream? What's this? How are you feeling? They do not know. And it's amazing how you can just kind of get swept up in everything unless you're taking yourself off that conveyor belt and just going, hang on, I'm just going to tune in with me right now, and I'm going to create a vision that is mine, and all that juicy, gorgeous stuff. But yeah, that was quite a long response, but I hope that gave you something. Lovely. Oh, fabulous. Has anyone else got any questions at this point? I've got a couple of other secrets to share. Very good.
I wouldn't mind that guava tea that you talked about. I haven't had caffeine in several years because I'm just very sensitive to it. But if can that be done without caffeine, or like, in other words, is it caffeine as an additive, or does it have a stimulant associated with the actual root?
The actual plant, the herb, it hasn't got any additives, but it has caffeine. So I would I would suggest if you were going to try it, you would take just a half a teaspoon, a small little bit. I wouldn't say it's more stimulating than coffee.
Which is too much for me. So yeah.
I mean, you have to kind of tune in and be like, okay, however, I mean, there's all sorts of really nice coffee alternatives, which are more like the chicory root kind of base. They're very ground energies, and they have zero caffeine. But if
Great, thank you.
Yeah, cool, awesome.
Sorry, I just wanted to, if you think of anything, I'm open.
Everyone's like, everyone gets affected massively by caffeine, and then when your energy goes down, then we start giving ourselves the thing that overstimulates us and then gives us a crash. And so it's a really good question. So yeah, I think just more in terms of kind of building energy and stuff at this time of year, I think there's something called blood building in traditional Chinese medicine as well, where it's really, really useful to kind of get out and go for a walk in the morning. And I think that, in springtime, this is the time really to we've been cozy in like warm fires and our warm jumpers and stuff. And yes, there's probably quite a few cold days left for us here. But just kind of getting out into nature, connecting with nature and building blood first thing in the morning, even if it's like a 10-minute walk. That basically moves your blood around your body. It oxygenates the brain. It gets you focused and it gets you clear. And, there's also the mitochondria in our cells that if you can see like daylight, really kind of early on in the day, and it's difficult for me because I've got contact lenses in. So I started doing a morning ritual where I was having my tea with my feet on the ground outside on the grass with no shoes and no contact lenses. So I looked crazy because I couldn't see a thing. But it was just 10 minutes of just kind of like, brilliant, like I'm just going to reconnect with nature, and then that actually sets our circadian rhythms up for the rest of the day, even just like 10-15 minutes or so in the morning, and then that's going to help you sleep better. And then obviously sleep is like the foundation of everything to do with energy. But yeah, and I always think as well, like remembering to play and laugh. It's like the big theme that keeps coming up for me really strongly recently, because I mean I love all this, the well-being, and I love creating some like big visions and doing big things and whatever, but at the end of the day, like we are here to play and we're here to laugh. And I think when we take things too seriously, it can, clearly there's big things that happen in our lives that are serious, but sometimes just kind of like stepping back from what you're doing and just remembering to have a laugh is really ultimately the most amazing thing to like boost your energy, right? And then also gut health is hugely related to our mood. Obviously, I think everyone's kind of heard of this now, and our energy. And two things that I always do, which we don't tend to do in the West, which is I think why we have this weird aversion to carbs in the West, where it's like, oh, they're going to make us bloat and they're going to make us big, and it's like it's all not real. I believe it's because we don't process our grains properly. And we actually, in the East, any rice, any oats, any, grains or whatever, you will soak them overnight, rinse them and soak them overnight. And I tell people this because it is game changing, and it's a bit of a faff at first, but then when you get used to it and then you start with, whatever you're eating, and clearly if you're kind of out and about, you've got a busy schedule and you're not always eating your own food. It's not always, you can't be like, did you soak these grains overnight? Sometimes. But yeah, that's a really big secret tip for energy. And also anything to do with like fermented food is really good for the gut. So really at this time of year, especially upping things like gherkins and pickles, adding miso into our cooking. And I put kimchi on everything. literally, it is life-saving. It gives me so much energy, and it's really beautiful for the gut. But yeah, and then I've got 3 little treasures to share with you. I don't know if anyone's heard of these, but these are 3. They're not necessarily specific to springtime, but these are 3 very powerful herbal allies that I like to use. And in traditional Chinese medicine, we tend to use things for about 100 days. I'm not saying it takes 100 days to work, but it's just like a nice practice to have. So it's really nice to start something like this at the beginning of a new season, because then it's like, I'm going to do this for spring. But I absolutely love something called Schisandra, and you get them in little berries. They're like red berries, and they are one of the only things that stimulate all 3 treasures in traditional Chinese medicine, which is our qi, which is our energy, our shun, which is our kind of almost consciousness, our spirit, and our jing, which is our life force energy, which is held in our kidneys. So you can take this as like a tea. And yeah, when I did my training originally a few years ago, we were kind of challenged to do 100 days of Schisandra, and it had a really beautiful effect, like clear my skin, everything. Yeah, so I think it's S, I always put Z, ANDRA. So yeah, I can't see the chat otherwise. So SHISANDRA. I can send you a link after this. Schisandra, and then there's Shilajit. They're all gonna have, yeah, thanks, darling, that's perfect. Shilajit, which is SHILAJIT. This is like vegetation that's been right up in like mountainous, kind of very high altitude spaces, and it almost gets like crushed in between all of the rocks. And you can buy it as like a resin or a tablet form, but it just gives you superpowers. And yeah, it's a little bit potent if you've not tried it before and you're taking it as a resin. And actually, Kristen, this could be good as a coffee alternative for you. It's got no caffeine. If you put maybe 1/8 of a teaspoon of this resin in with the chicory root coffee or whatever, it will give it, I like that taste. It's quite like, oof, if you've not tasted it before, but it gives you so much energy and so much strength. And it's just amazing. And then the last one I'm going to share with you today is maca, and you can get this as a powder, and it's really great for for balancing hormones. And it's really good for your sexual health and sexual energy. It boosts your libido, and of course your libido is connected to energy, so sexual energy is healing energy. So yeah, I think maybe if I put those and links to them in a note actually maybe afterwards, but yeah, they're just, if you want to like boost your energy, those guys are going to help. Some of them might have contraindications just to watch out for, but unless you've got like a hormonal thing, I think the maca would be fine. And I think Schisandra and Shilajit are good as well. But yeah, so that's all my sharings. I don't know if you guys have got any questions. Yeah, maca, that's it.
Actually, how do you spell nattle? At the beginning, you were saying about nattle, and just because
NETTLE.
Okay, super. Voilà. Good to spell just. No, thank you very much for sharing all those crazy tips and very precious tips. I love this. I'm studying medicinal plants with old books and everything, but it's always good to have other type of inspiration.
Yeah,
thank you.
Absolute pleasure. And if you take one thing from all of that, because that's quite a lot of information. If you take one thing, whatever resonated for you is the thing that you're meant to take away.
Mm. And if I can add something, because I'm very into this at the moment, it's the gemotherapy. Gemotherapy stands for the baby's plants, you know, like the bourgeon.
Right, yeah.
You know, Isabelle, bourgeon in English, how do you say again?
Yes, little sprouts on plants.
So, sorry, my English is so, it's like,
When a plant is having is starting to sprout.
yeah, exactly. It's gemotherapy. I don't know, because it's like maybe the Latin word. So let me just go and check again.
Like when you get like the seeds and you sprout them, and you can have them in like sprouted breads and all sorts of things.
It's not even seeds. It's just is when it blooms. Sorry, yeah, it's the bloom.
You're right,
You
the
know,
blooming. What and
herbal gem, herbal gem. No, gemotherapy. English. It's just because I'm using this gemotherapy.
you're
Yeah,
using
it's a remedy group, embryonic tissues of various trees and
Yeah.
from birds, emerging shoots, seeds, catkins, rootlets, and sap. Wow.
how do you use it?
Like J like garage, EMM double MO and therapy. The benefits of the germotherapy. Did
Okay.
you hear about this one? It's like it's a specialized branch of herbal medicine, and it's like where the
I think
birds
so.
and young shoots of trees and plants. Yeah, this is actually exactly how I would actually translate it. Yeah, birds and yeah.
There's something in herbalism called the doctrine of signatures, where nature kind of replicates the thing that it helps, it looks like. So something like a walnut it looks like the brain, and that will help the brain.
Exactly. Voilà.
So
Also.
it might be something in that because it's young, it's giving more life force.
Totally. It's
Yeah.
exactly this. Do
Yeah.
you use it? You never use it?
No,
Did you know?
I'm gonna
Okay.
do it now. I'm gonna go get some baby
Because
nettle.
voila, because there is no like it's very without. It's not intrusive, and it's not. There is no side effects. We can say
Yeah.
it's like totally safe. You need and you can add like the black currants, for example. Those black currants. Those ones are very nice. I mean, you need to check it. Now I just saw
Yeah.
it's gemotherapy. I could see that.
Send me some info. My
Yeah.
Instagram's at the Secret Inspirer.
Okay. Yeah, I will.
I'd love to
Totally.
see it. Yeah,
I
lovely.
wanted to see if you because few it depends whatever you want to. It's like like flowers like back flowers, you know, like back flowers. It's kind of
Oh
different.
yeah, flower
Well,
essences.
so it's not the same, but it's just like also using the roots and the vital energy from the
Yeah.
baby birds of
Do you make
plants. And
do you make tinctures? Maybe.
no, I wish I can do tintos. I just I go and find them at the herbalist herbalist shop on the outside my
You
shop.
plant some vodka.
I don't know if I'm deep into this. I'm just like, and then I know that it's a long way. It means I will need maybe 10 years to really integrate everything. So this is why your knowledge is very, for me, it's like in
That's the most beautiful thing.
priceless.
It's yeah, you just could be learning this stuff for years and years. It's amazing.
Exactly. Totally.
Thank you.
I really advise you to check this out and to see wherever you want to treat and to see like because flowers the back like the flowers from back is like really emotional, but gemotherapy is really something for the skin, something for the kidneys, and lots of different things, and it gives you an extra energy, I think.
Thank you, darling.
You're welcome.
Diego,
Okay.
did you have a question? No. Did anyone else have any questions or anything they wanted to add or anything?
Look, you have this. I just got this here. Oh.
I'll add your email address in the chat.
Yes, please.
And your website.
Yeah,
Laura.
please do. That'd be awesome. And I've got an offering at the moment that I'm just launching. You guys are the first to hear about it. It's going to be a spring energy container. So it's going to be 3 weeks where we just do like an hour and a half on Zoom, starting from the 11th of April. And it's going to be going into energy. And like, we're going to be sharing, we're going to be like maybe drinking some teas, we're going to be just finding out more wisdom like we've kind of done today, and it's going to be $99, and that is it. So I've got a registration form if anyone's interested in signing up for that.
Cool.
That'll go.
The Shishandra berry, is that like good for the tea, or should we take the? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you can
I'm
take
just
it.
looking it up.
Sure. And you're gonna love it. Let me know if you try any of these things. Definitely reach out and let me know. And if you've got any questions, then yeah, Laura@thesecretinspirer.com, or jump on the website, or at The Secret Inspirer on Insta.
Excellent. Perfect.
Great, we are bang on. Boom.
All right.
It runs so fast. I want I want an extra one. No, I could talk about it for hours. It's just the beginning, and it's just we this is the thing. It's constant because there's so many plants in the world that are just hidden or just whatever. And it's good to have this place to share. And thank you, Isabel, for organizing this. This is my first one that I just because I didn't know about before, so now I will be a regular one, I think.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, darling.
Yeah, also thank you, everyone. Really beautiful.
Yes. Thank you. And wonderful to have the moment today. Thank you.
I'm gonna share. I'm gonna send you an email with the replay.
Oh, cool. Perfect.
And the different contacts, Laura's contact and her website, and the form to your program. And I'll also send you some info about what I do. I also have a program, one-on-one coaching program called Back on Track. It's a 12-week health and well-being program, including some Tai Chi, some Qigong, some traditional Chinese medicine, and healthy habits. And all of this is personalized to each person's need. And you can check it out. I'll send you the link in the email.
Perfect.
And thank you for joining.
You're
This
welcome.
was really great. Thank you so much, Laura, for being my first guest. This is so exciting. This reminds me when I had a podcast. I had a podcast back in 2009 until 2011, before it was a thing to have a podcast. And I remember when I was having interviews with some Spanish artists in English, and the editing part was quite some job because we were laughing all the time, and I had to cut off so many things. But like the recording here, I put it raw, so people, they just get the feeling of what happened here.
Natural, of course, definitely. But we're gonna meet in Barcelona anyway. We are close by, so. And I really look forward to meet you, Laura, in physical state, of course. Whenever you come to Barcelona, just
come to LA.
Do you know what? I might hit you up on that, because I'm really called to the US right now. Really, yeah.
It's been strange weather-wise, but it's not so bad. The news cycle makes it sound really bad.
I don't watch the news.
Yeah, don't watch it. Me neither.
Oh, well,
but thank you for sharing this information today. I think I just got all the teas and all the things. So let's see.
Yes.
Izzy, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Christine. Nice to meet everybody here, and welcome. And we'll be in touch, and I'll send you the next workshop through email.
Excellent.
And look forward to hearing from you soon.
Thank you, everyone.
Have a great day or night.
Bye. Bye.
Rest well. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone.